Here we go. Hello and welcome. My name is Barbara Wainwright. I'm the CEO and founder of Wainwright Global Institute of Professional Coaching. And today I have the honor and privilege of speaking with Meir Ezra. He is a spiritual entrepreneur, a unique combination of business with spirituality. Israeli born and raised, Meir Ezra was born with a deformity. His 2 feet were pointing backwards. Despite the primitive doctors of the time, his feet were restored, yet leaving him full of pain for the rest of his life. Despite this limitation, Meir went on to one of Israel's most elite Navy units and completed 6 years in the Israeli submarines. He attributes this achievement, despite the pain, solely to one thing: his state of mind. So Meir eventually moved to South Africa, where he established his company, which grew to 100 million within 3 years by the age of 32. He went on to establish multiple companies across the globe, has many inventions and patents to his name, and has invested in countless businesses. 15 years ago, his business training company, Guaranteed Prosperity, was born. With thousands of clients across the globe, Meir is a philanthropist involved in various community projects ranging from getting people off drugs to helping children learn, and has donated millions of dollars to charitable organizations. Welcome to the podcast, Meir. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, and very nice to be with you, and thank you for everyone that's listening.
Yes, yes. So you have such a diverse and vast background in world experience, truly. I'm wondering, for the coaches out there who are just getting started, maybe it's the first time that they're stepping into the entrepreneurial world, because as a coach, unless you're working as an employee somewhere, as most coaches are entrepreneurs, maybe for the first time. So I'm wondering if you could share what would be your advice for somebody who, I mean, you did it. You started up a company and went to 100 million. So what would be your advice for somebody who's just getting started in business as an entrepreneur?
Okay, so the first thing before you start, you really need to heal yourself from humanity problem, which is making things complicated. People specialize in making things complicated, and you need to know that if it is complicated, it contains a lie. If your husband come home and give you this complicated story about where he's been, he's lying.
Oh my gosh, I've heard this before.
Yes. So the first thing you need to do, really the first thing you need to do is get rid of this urge to make things complicated, because business is complex. And if you take the complexity of business and make it complicated, you will never succeed. It will be just too slow.
Yeah.
Just too slow. That's number one. And the second thing, probably the most important thing, and I want to draw to just say, I'm going to change screen.
Nice.
And I'm going to draw. Is that okay?
I love it. Thank you.
1 second. Jump different place. Here we go. Okay, so I want to draw, and I will do it like that. So there's a cycle of action which called start, change, and stop. A person is born, grows, and he dies. This interview started, something will change, and it will stop. Okay. Yes. Now, when a person born, he has a certain amount of attention unit. We can think about them as processes, much like a computer. A computer has a number of processes.
Right.
Every time you open a cycle of action that you did not close, one of those processes gets stolen, get occupied. And when you open 1 and 2 and 3 and 500 processes like that, much like in a computer, when you open many programs, you'll see that, whoops, let me do that. Here we go. Whoops, that will be better. Yes. You'll see that much like in a computer, when you open more programs and more programs and more programs, the computer will slow down. And if you open even more, the computer will crash.
Yes. Yes.
So the only things that you need to do religiously is close cycles of actions.
Yes.
Don't leave things open. Don't do half things. Don't do things that you start and you don't close. Why? Because the more open cycles you have, the slower you get. And to be successful as an entrepreneur, you need to be fast, very fast.
That makes sense.
You have to be fast. You really need to, I'm saying that I'm even sleeping fast. So I can sleep less hours and get more done.
Yes.
So as an entrepreneur, you really have to really close cycles of action. So this is things that you do with yourself. Then when you go into business, you need to find something that the client will need, of course,
Yes.
but you need to find something unique about it.
Gotcha.
If you don't have something that you are number one at, you're wasting your time.
Right, right. Well,
You
I love
need to be number one in something. If I'm a coach and there's another 60,000 coaches,
right.
I'm just another coach.
Right.
So I'm not just a coach. For me, when someone come to get coaching with me, I tell them, look, you come to get coaching with me. If you don't get the expected result, you don't pay me, I pay you.
Oh, there you go.
I actually pay you cash. So my one day coaching with me is $40,000. If you don't get the expected result, I'll pay you $40,000. You don't pay me because I wasted your day, and your day is at least as valuable as mine.
That's definitely unique.
Really, yes.
Yes, for sure. Oh my gosh. Well, I love that I'm teaching a coaching system because the system can be applied to any genre of coaching that somebody wants to go into. So we're talking to coaches that are coaching in over 50 different coaching niches, and because of that, they can each be unique in what it is that they offer, except for part of the coaching system that I teach is working on reprogramming the subconscious mind so that the subconscious mind is on target with the creative conscious mind and where they want to go and what they want to do. And that way, when they get ready to go do something, they don't have that inner self-sabotage, the fear, and they have confidence and they're excited about doing it, right? So I think that's a unique thing that each one of the coaches that have been through my training can provide for their clients. It's exciting. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. What you said is very accurate and true. And despite the fact that you have there are many type of businesses in the world, the truth will apply to everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if I know how to sell, it's not important if I sell pens, cars, airplanes. The basic principles are the same.
Yes.
I market, it's not important if I marketed 20,000 years ago, 10 years ago, or right now, regardless of the technology, the basic truth, the basic ideas are correct. And when people try to sabotage that, for example, when we had the dot-com bubble, the subprime problem, it is because someone came and said, no, the basic truth is not, it can be changed. No, basic truth cannot be changed.
Yeah.
This universe has been built on a very specific natural.
I lost your audio. Oops. Okay, so Meir Ezra is calling in from South Africa, and sometimes our audio connections get frozen or stopped because it's, after all, halfway
If
around
not,
the world. One moment, I lost your connection about a minute ago, but I'm explaining that you're calling in from halfway around the world, so it's not to be unexpected that we lose our connection now and again. So I apologize, but if you could back up about a minute.
Yeah, no problem. So what I was saying is that when you teach something that is truth, when you have a piece of truth, yes, that piece of truth will apply to any industry. It's not important if you are a dentist, if you are a massage therapist, if you run Apple or anything like, or if you run the government.
Yes.
It will always work. Why? Because it's truth. And when someone tried to violate this truth, like they've done in the dot-com era, in the dot-com era, they said this is a new kind of economy. No, there's no such thing as new kind of economy. Truth is truth. The universe has been built, the physical universe has been built on a very specific laws, unbreakable laws.
That's right.
So you cannot change the basic principles.
Right.
You can use them innovatively, but you cannot change them. Now, how do you know that you're dealing with basic truth? It applies to any field. And if it is applying only to your field, you're dealing with nonsense. Now, many entrepreneurs will tell you, no, my business is different. Not true. All businesses operate on the same, 99% of what they do is the same.
Yes.
And there is specialized thing on the technical side, specialized thing on some side. But the basic principles are the same. So you as an entrepreneur need to know that when someone tell you, I'm teaching you this, but it applies only here, it's not true.
Yeah. Then you want to question it and go, wait a minute, I don't know if that's, you're being honest with me. Yeah. That makes sense.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said that's a really good point. If somebody says that, it can only be this way, you need to question.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yes. So if I tell you there's a cycle of action and you need to close cycles of action, it's not important what you're doing. You need to close cycles of actions.
I agree.
You need to close it with your wife, with your children, with your computer, with anything. You just need to close cycles of action. It's basic truth. Yes.
Yes.
You need to make things simple. It's basic truth. If it's not simple, it contains a lie. It's a basic truth. It applies to anything.
Yes. I agree.
You need to have, when you're going to deliver, so this is the next thing I think that people need to understand is once they have a product that they sell and once they find something unique and they're assuming that they're closing cycles of action and they're making their lines very simple, the next thing that you really need to understand that is really key is the subject of exchange.
Yes.
Now, what does it mean, exchange? Exchange means that I give you something and you give me something back.
That's right.
That's basic exchange. But actually, when you look at exchange is a little bit more complex. What do I mean? Exchange have different level of exchange. So I can come to you and say, do you want this pen? And you say yes. And I say, give me $100. You give me the $100 and I don't give you the pen. That's called criminal exchange. Yes, this is what criminals do.
Yes.
They steal. This is stealing. Basically, you see that it happens a lot in life that someone promised you something and he did not deliver. An employee promised you something, he didn't do that, but you still pay him a salary. So he's stealing from you. Yes. But it doesn't happen only when someone steals from you. It's also happen when you give, and don't demand something in return. This is happening with parents a lot.
Yeah.
They give their children, and they don't demand something from the children. So the children become criminal, and they start to act like criminal. They start to attack the parents when they are 13, 14, 15.
Yes.
If you have a very, very good friend that now hates you, it is probably because you gave him and you gave him and you gave him and you gave him and you didn't demand something back.
And because you get tired of that, I mean, a one-way traffic, it gets old. So you get tired of that and you stop, and then they're like, wait, I thought we were friends. Yeah.
So when you give without getting something back, you will create a situation when the guy is just a thief, and because people are basically good, they will feel bad. And what will happen if this is me and you, this is me and this is my child. So if every time I give my child something and I don't ask something back, he feels wrong. And I give him again something and I don't ask for something back, he feels wrong. And the more I make him feel wrong, the worse he will feel. So he will have to find a way to make me wrong. And once he makes me wrong, he will start to feel good himself. So this is really important to understand. You need to give something and demand exchange. The second level of exchange is when I come to you and I said, you want that? And you say, yes, I want it. And I say, okay, give me $100. You give me $100, but I give it to you without the cover. I didn't deliver what was promised. I didn't actually deliver what was promised. And this is not stealing, but it's cheating. Yes?
Yes.
So when exchange becomes cheating, what happened is again, there is an upset, there is no expansion, and the relationship will break a little bit later, but it will break.
Yes.
And most companies around the globe, most entrepreneurs, because they don't know how to get organized and because they're missing basic truth, they find themselves, it's not the intention, but they find themselves that they don't really deliver what promise.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they do not survive as a business.
Exactly.
Next level is when I come to you and I say, do you want that? And you say, yes, of course I want that. And I say, okay, fine, give me $100 and I give it to you. That's really what was agreed. It is considered to be okay, but it's not. Why is it not okay? Because if you go to a restaurant and you got exactly what was expected, it's okay, but there will not be expansion. You will not go and tell your friend, look, this is an amazing restaurant. You have to go there.
Yes.
You will not refer anyone. You expected that. And it's like, okay, it's nothing happened. This is usually how marriage start to deteriorate. It is just the okay level. There's nothing. And slowly you go to, and I don't deliver really what promised. And later on you go to a criminal exchange.
Yes.
So the only way for you to succeed as a business owner, the only way for you to succeed as an employee, the only way for you to succeed as a person is really that when I come to you and I say, do you want that? And you say, yes. I say, give me $100. I give this thing to you and I give you something extra you did not expect.
Paper to go with the pen.
Yeah. So you need to always give something extra that the person did not expect. If you promise him to give it to him, that's not extra. It's something that you did not expect. And when you plan all your life around, I'm going to deliver more than expected, my exchange will be more than expected. I call it exchange with a wow. You need to exchange with the wows. Like you go and you do something like, oh, wow, this is amazing. At that moment, 97.5% of the people will feel compelled, almost uncontrolled urge to help you.
I love that. I love that. I think that's why I've been in business since 2006, right there, because coming through the training, people get their own vision statement and it's a wow moment and they don't expect it because I can't describe it. It's so unique because it's written specifically for that person. And so when they get it, it's that wow moment. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. Exactly what you said. Exactly.
Yeah. It's really, really, really important.
Yeah.
If you really plan everything in your business, if you educate every person in your business, including your suppliers, including your clients,
yes,
that the viewpoint is we're going to deliver exchange with the wow. This is our purpose.
yes.
We're striving not for perfection, because to strive for perfection is nonsense, because there's no perfection in this universe.
No.
But I do strive to exchange with the wow. I do strive to give you more than you expected. I do strive to every time to wow you. And it can be just giving you a hug. It can be just giving you the product with a small note. It can be something, but I must wow you, and I expect you to somehow wow me.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Not I'm giving, and you don't give anything in return. It's not because you are the client, you're sitting there as a passenger. No. Your job is to exchange with me too. And you educate your clients, you educate your employees, you educate your executives, you educate your suppliers, you educate your family. And the more people you educate that the only way to survive is by expansion, you see a person when he gets old, they start to shrink.
Yeah, true.
Why? Because the exchange is out. So if you go to the gym and if you do extra, the older you get, the more you do, the more you do, the more you push, you will not shrink.
Yes, that's right.
You will actually grow.
Yep.
So you have to really get that thing as something, and all those things that I'm giving you right now, all those principles are really basic. I can give a week talk on each one of those principles, but I'm giving just the basic in the level that someone can just use it tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
And
I know so far everything that you've shared has been like so important for these new entrepreneurs because they need to know these things. They need to know about the equal exchange of energy. And there's a saying, under promise, over deliver. That's the wow factor. And all of these things are so important for us, all the coaches to know. So thank you. Thank you so far. Thank you. I hope for more.
okay, the next thing that I will suggest for a person, for a business owner, that he needs to do, and this is something really powerful and underestimated, is, and it comes from the understanding that when I go to buy from someone, when I go out to buy something, in my mind as a client, I'm going to a war against those salespeople that are trying to cheat me.
Okay.
I'm going to a war zone. They try to cheat me, and I don't know. I need to be very careful. I need to protect myself. I really need to have this shield that protect myself from cheating people, because most people have experience or has experience being cheated.
Yes.
And because of that, especially new businesses have a problem to just go and make the first step, just to break this first glass ceiling where they are viable.
Yes.
And the way to overcome it is something that every single business that I taught and actually applied become successful, always, without exception. And this is something that is simple to do, but most of the people at the beginning have, but how I will do it? It's possible. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to reduce the risk for the client and take the risk for him. How do you do that? It's actually very simple, like anything that's true. You give them a guarantee. You don't pay me, I'll pay you.
Yep.
Give them a guarantee. Now, you don't give this kind of guarantee. You find your own guarantee. So if I'm a doctor, let's say, and I'm doing, I don't know, I'm a dentist and I'm doing dental cosmetic, I will come and I will say, look, if the result is not what you expect, we will fix it on our account until you are happy.
That's a great guarantee.
So if I'm going, I know for sure that he has to work until I'm happy.
Yes. Yes. I love
Until
it.
I'm happy, not until he tells me that it's okay.
Yes.
Every single business that does that, what basically you do, you say you will increase your conversion rate in order of magnitude, because the customer don't have a risk. Amazon, you buy from Amazon, you have this guarantee, I can return it.
That's
So
right.
I don't take any risk.
Yeah.
I don't take,
Yeah.
and every single business must have a guarantee. If you don't give a guarantee, you will not grow.
I love it. That's a brilliant piece of advice right there. I hope everybody's listening really clearly to all of this, because everything that you've shared is so important. I love that, starting from the I can't remember the exact words, but when you start something, finish it. That's like,
Yeah, both cycles of
start it,
actions.
finish it. Yes, and then making sure that you're having an equal exchange of energy, making sure that you're under
Not
promising.
equal exchange. Yeah, not equal exchange of energy.
Okay.
We want to change more. Equal exchange of energy means that you have a problem, force counter force.
Yes.
If I give you equal exchange, nothing moves. Only when one side is winning, there is something that's happening.
Okay, I love that. So how would you say that in a few words instead of
An exchange with the wow, exchange
there you go.
to deliver an unexpected amount of exchange, more than expected.
I love it. Yes.
So
Yes.
there is nothing in this universe that is equal.
Okay.
This universe do not admit of anything equal. There
Right.
is not two apples that are the same. Even if you take the exact same two squares that are in a different space, and because everything moves in this universe, obviously they are not equal.
Yes, that's correct.
We call them equal, but they are not equal.
Right.
Even when you say A equal A, you're not actually talking to A because A must be something. So there's no two squares that are the same. There are not two apples that are the same.
Right.
So nothing in this universe is equal to anything. So when you try to get into this absolute, every time you have an idea that contain within it an absolute, it will fail. For example, you take the idea of communism. Communism is a wonderful thing, you know, everyone is amazing and everyone contributing, but there's no absolute, there's no such thing, everyone doing the same. The moment that you introduce an absolute into a system in the physical universe, you destroy the system. Absolute is unobtainable.
I agree, yes. Right. So I love over promising and making sure that you're delivering the wow. I think that's also very important. And then I also really like, and I'm going to have to change some things, having that guarantee. Because
Yeah.
although I don't offer a refund to my training, if somebody
You don't
wants to
need to.
come back through to get, to go through it again, absolutely. I would invite them to come back through the course again. And I'm going to put a time frame on it, like within the next month or 2 months, come back.
Yeah, no problem. Whatever the guarantee that you decide that will make your client feel secure.
There you go.
Because
Yeah.
when a person is afraid, if I ask most people what is the word fear mean, they give you all kind of definitions.
Yes.
And how do I know that the definitions are nonsense? Because they don't solve the fear.
Okay.
If I give you a definition, if you have a word, if you have the correct definition of the word, the definition will solve all the problem relating to that issue. So people say that fear is all kind of things, but actual definition of the word fear is a state of imperception. It's an unwillingness to communicate.
There you go.
So the moment that you start to communicate with something, you solve the fear. You see that when you're afraid, you don't look, you run away.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
When you're afraid, you freeze, you cannot see what's going on in front of you. So if you start to look, you will solve the fear.
Got it.
So when a person is afraid, when a person is not in a state where he can actually observe, regardless of how good your explanation is, regardless of how good your product is, regardless of how amazing your success stories are and testimonials are, they don't see, they think, they look at what the fear tell them. Because they don't look, when you don't look, you look into your past.
There you go.
People
Yeah.
that are afraid do not look at what in front of them, they look at their past. And so they become cuckoo. So because how would you define the word insanity?
Oh yeah, doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Unfortunately, while everyone said that this is the definition, the dictionary will tell you that this is the definition of tenacity. You do it again and again and again, and you expect different result. I tell to my son, go to the shower, go to the shower, go to the shower, go to the shower. After an hour, he goes to the shower. This is a tenacity. And then an hour later, I tell him, go out, go out, go out, go out. That's tenacity. It's not insanity.
Right.
This is what an entrepreneur do. He's doing again and again the same thing, the same boring action, again and again and again, and definitely expecting different results. Yep. That's tenacity. Insanity is actually attention stuck in the past.
Okay.
When you drive forward, but you look backward, you are cuckoo. So when I drive forward and I look at my past, at what happened in the past, I'm cuckoo, I'm insane. Insanity is not because of what's happening right now. Insanity is because what it's reminding you.
Oh, okay.
When I get a client, and the client come to me, if he is afraid, he is insane. He does not listen to me. He doesn't see because fear is an inability to communicate. So that he cannot communicate to me. He looks at the past, so he become cuckoo.
Yeah, That makes
So
sense.
you really have to handle the fear before you can actually sell the client.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you handle the fear, one of the ways is by giving him a guarantee.
I love it. I love it. These are so
You make
important
him sane.
lessons. Very, very important lesson. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you make him sane.
Yes.
That's really. Now, the next thing you need to know is your income has only one thing that control it.
Okay.
Only one thing that control how much income you have. Only one thing. So what control the income? What brings about income? Income is actually the result of control. If I control the car, I have the income from the car, which is arriving safely and quickly to my destination.
Okay.
If I control my bank account, I will never be in minus. I'll never be in debt. If I control the client, I actually will make sure that I will actually achieve my purpose as a salesman to help him, to help himself with my product and services. If I can control my mind, I will not do stupid things, and my mind will help me, will give me income rather than destroy me.
Yes.
If I can control my wife, then I'm a magician. But that's a
Oh gosh. Yeah.
so control equals income. And the question is, of course, if control equals income, control is really, really important. What is control? How would you define the word control? What is control?
That's a great question.
This is key.
I'd say having procedures in place would help you to have some kind of control over, or having an idea of where you want to go will help you have control over what steps would be next to take. And I think there's some things that are out of our control sometimes, but at the same time, like you said, if you can control your mind, then you can organize things and move forward in a controlled manner.
Okay, so this is very good definition on how, maybe on how do you get control, but it didn't explain to me control.
What is control? Right.
Because if I organize something, let's say I organize, I still don't know what control is.
Yes.
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 So control. If you look at what does it mean, it actually will solve the problem of control.
Okay.
You actually have the definition, as I told you, the correct definition of a word will solve all the problem relating to that word.
Okay.
So how do you lose control? How do you gain control? And how do you bring income is all got to do with the definition of the word. So let's have a look again.
Yes. Let's
This,
do
let me see if I can do that. Yes, here we go. So we said that there's a cycle of action, which is start, change, and stop. Yes?
Yes.
So control is only the ability to start, change, and stop. If you can start the car and change the car and stop the car, you're in control of the car. But if you start the car, but you cannot change it and you cannot stop it, you are a statistic. Yes.
Right.
So if you can start a thought, change your thoughts, and stop your thought, obviously you are controlling your thought.
That's right.
You can start your computer, change your computer, and stop your computer. You control your computer.
Yes, I love
You
it.
can anything that you can start, change, and stop, bring you control. So in order to have income, you need to close cycles of action. So, but what does it actually practically mean? If we look at life, and let's say that this is the beginning of your life and this is time, and here you have you born here. This is where you're born, and you have very little memories. You have or very little experience. This is first experience, more experience, more experience, more experience, more experience, more experience, more experience. Which means you accumulate past. Yes.
Yes. Now we've passed.
You will see that the more a person rely on his experience, the worse his get. Why? Because experience tells you what you cannot do. experience. Every time I agree with something, it tells me, look, you have now a limitation. I agree to be with you at 1 a.m. my time. I have a limitation. I have to be there. I cannot do whatever I want. I agree that I don't like, I don't know, cucumber. I have a limitation. I agree that I love chocolate. I have a limitation. The more I agree, the worse I get. So you will see that a person, when he's born, a child, have endless amount of potential. And the more you agree, the less potential you have until the moment you die. You can say that you die when your last dream die, and you lose your dreams because you have too many agreements, too much experience.
Wow.
So the actual thing that a person need to do is to close cycles of action. What does it mean to close cycles of action? Every time something happened in my life, if I close the cycle of action, it doesn't actually stay. The only thing that stays in your mind is this thing that you still did not 100% close.
Okay.
Only thing something stay in your mind is because you still did not 100% close. You heard the word fear, but somehow it doesn't actually work all the time. But you heard that it means doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, but it doesn't really solve the problem. Now it stays in your experience. You've learned that from your experience, you've learned to play guitar, and you know, this is AM, this is C, this is E. And as long as it stays as a memory, it's not closed. When you know your name, you don't need to look at the memory. You don't need experience. You just know. When you know how to play a song, I know how to play a song on my guitar. I don't need to remember. I don't need my experience. I just know.
Yeah.
I know. When I talk, I don't need experience. I know how to talk.
Yes.
So for as long as you rely on your past, for as long as you rely on your experience, the more you rely on your experience, the worse you get.
Wow.
You'll see that every single limitation you have is because you have an experience. You tried that and it failed. So you're still keeping it.
Yes, got it. Got it.
This is beginner's luck. Beginner's luck is this thing that you do without relying on any experience. And then someone come and tell you, well, you know, you need some experience. Let me give.
And they ruin it with their experience.
So I know it's not something that people actually think about or realize, but your worst enemy is your experience. That's why old people, that's why old people jump lower or try less or go for smaller games. They're more careful.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the young can create unbelievable things because they said, the hell with the experience. According to experience, we will never fly because experience was proven we cannot fly.
Right.
Only birds can fly.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. So I can see how it can be very limiting. Oh, I tried that. I'm not going to do that again. Or, oh no, somebody else tried that and it didn't work. So yeah, you just have to kind of ignore the past or what has happened. And I don't know. I look a lot like when you talk about the spiritual part of that, it's trusting. Like if you get an idea and maybe you don't want to share it with some people, but you know, share it with people that also are creative and inspirational. But if you get an idea that sounds crazy to some people, that doesn't mean it's crazy. It means their past experience is shutting them down. But if it came to, I think, I don't know, if your idea came to you, then you need to go for it because that's your unique thing that you need to create and give to the world.
Yeah. So ideas do not come to you. Ideas you create. Ideas that come to you. Anything that come to you, you are in effect. You are not cause. Anything that come to you, you are useless.
Okay.
The reason most people that win the lottery lose the money is because it come to them. It's not theirs. They did not create it. They were an effect.
Right.
Even if it's such a good thing, they got $1 billion, boom, it will go within 2 years. 97.5% of all people that won the lottery ended up in poverty. And this is statistics. So you will see that the more a person will wait for something to come to him,
right,
the worse he will get. The universe is a dead thing. The universe gives you nothing. I don't know if you notice that if you talk to a stone, the stone don't give you something.
That's true.
The universe is a physical thing. It's composed of matter, energy, space, and time. And those things give you nothing in return. They will take everything away from you and give you nothing in return. It is only the thing that you decide that you are cause over. I will close the cycle of action. I will not wait for someone to give me. I will create it. I will put it there.
Yes.
So the viewpoint have to be, I'm cause, and I'm willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm. I'm going in, I don't care about experience, I don't care about anything. I'm willing to win and lose with the same level of enthusiasm.
Yes.
But no, I know that I'm cause.
Yes.
And what could happen to me? What could really happen to a person? People are really afraid, but if you really look, what could happen to you? You can die.
Yes.
Fine, they give you, when you die, they give you new bodies for free. You don't even have to pay for it.
Right. I know that's like there's a lot of people that are afraid of dying from something or other, but I mean, none of us get out of here alive. We're we're all limited. At some point we're all going to die. That's the facts. So forget about it and live your life fully. That's what I say.
I would actually say that everyone don't leave this place, and the body do not come out of here alive, but
Yes.
you, the spirit, not die.
That's right.
Because you're not your spirit.
Yeah.
Your body, all the bodies will die, like all the cars will die.
They're
but
out
the
of here.
cars are not the drivers.
The spirit, right? The spirit continues on and on and on. Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, the spirit do not continue. The spirit is, because what continues only physical things. So when the body die, the body actually continue, just in a different form. The body get broken down, etc. But all because in this universe there's no something out of nothing. There's the law of conservation of energy. So when you take a building and break it down, while you don't have the building is just in pieces, but the building is still there.
Yes.
So the body is still there. The body continue in a different form. The body continue. Right. The spirit it does not continue.
That's right. That's right. That makes a lot of sense.
Not continue because the spirit is not physical.
Yes. But it
Are you with me?
The spirit is.
Yes. Yeah. So what is the spirit? How would you define the word spirit?
Oh, that's a great question again. I think I'd have to look that one up.
So anything that you cannot define, you need to be brave enough to say, I don't know.
Yes. That's why I said I have to look that one up.
Someone say energy. When someone say energy, I ask them, what is energy? If they cannot define it, if they cannot tell me what's the difference between energy, force, power, inertia, and there's all energy. They don't know. They're just parroting words.
Yes.
So when you parrot a word, when you don't have the actual definition, you have an open cycle and you become weaker.
Yes.
You don't actually able to see what you're talking about. If you talk about energy and you don't really understand the word, it's actually going to make you weaker, not stronger, because you know that you don't actually know.
Right.
And things not add up, but you still say them because this is what you heard. So let's have a look at what is the spirit quickly, okay?
Yes, please.
If this is the beginning and this is time, you'll see that in this universe, the smallest number in this universe is 2. The smallest number in this universe is 2. Why?
Okay, yeah,
because
why?
For every plus, there's minus. There's no plus without minus. For every big, there is small. For every beautiful, there is ugly. And the atom is composed of electrons and protons. And while people say, well, yes, but there is one head, but the head is composed of many, many twos. And the head is just an idea. It's not actual physical thing. The physical thing is composed of many, many, many twos. It started from a sperm and two parts that came together that made everything else.
That's right.
So you've got the sperm and the egg that are the two, the plus and the minus. In this universe, there is no one. There's no one. There's almost always a minus one. In this universe, there is nothing is absolute. You cannot get to absolute zero. If you'll go and look, you'll see there's no such thing as absolute zero. There's no absolutely white, absolutely black. Nothing is absolute because everything is just gradient. It's composed of twos. Okay?
Okay, yes. I've heard the term duality.
Yeah. So the term duality is a wonderful term. That's just, we need a definition. What does it? So we'll get into that as well if you want later. But
Okay.
there's every single word. There's not two words that are the same in the whole English or any dictionary. Every word has an exact definition. And if you don't have the definition of the word, you do not understand the subject.
And then you have an open cycle.
And then you have an open cycle, and then you don't have control, and then you don't have any income.
Okay.
The life is not as good as you. The reason people don't actually, most people have very, very high potential, and they know they have high potential.
Yes.
But the result never match the potential.
Yes.
The reason the result don't match the potential is just the number of misunderstood words. How many words you simply parrot instead of understanding?
Yes, yes. True. It's got to be in the thousands.
If I want to understand what you say, I need to understand the words. In Israel, there are a lot of, there was a period of time that a lot of people came from Russia. And Russian are very, very educated people, extremely educated. They have very good basics. They really extremely educated.
Okay.
And they arrived to Israel, doctors and engineers and like really, really educated people. And all of them were working in the worst jobs. Why?
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the language. So they were looked at as stupid because they cannot understand. So when you cannot understand, you cannot solve the problem related to that problem.
Yes.
If you look at the Bible, regardless if you are religious or not, you'll see that when when the people tried to build the Tower of Babel to get to God, and God decided to, I'm going to stop this nonsense. What he did, he mixed the language.
Oh.
When they stopped understanding the words, they couldn't progress. So your progress is defined by the number of words you have the correct definition for.
Okay. Yep.
So you will not go past the number of words that you have the actual correct definition for. And you will see that the more a person gets educated, the more he learns word and the better result he can bring. But if he went to university and he didn't really understand, he just cheated his way through, despite the fact that he finished university, he doesn't do well in life.
Yeah,
Okay?
a lot of college graduates that struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't really learn.
Yeah.
They didn't really learn. How can you learn if you don't understand the words?
Exactly. Yep.
So if this is the beginning, and this is time,
okay.
And this universe is composed of two. So so it means this is two, and this you've got 4 particles, and then 16, and then 32, and 64, and 256, etc. Okay.
Yes.
So it means that everything that we find here started with 2. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Composed of 2, it means started with 2. Now the word started was not here before. If I say our relationship started in 2012, it was not here before. The iPhone started at 2000 and whenever, it was not here before. My baby started, he was born in 91, he was not here before.
Right.
Yes. The word started was not here before. Which means that what bring about the 2 do not compose of 2. So what created the 2 do not compose of 2.
Okay.
So what created our relationship is something external. Someone introduced us. We were in an event together, something external to us. What created the iPhone is not an iPhone because there was no iPhone before.
Okay.
Are you with?
Yes, yes. There was no iPhone before, so something happened that the iPhone got created.
Someone brought about, not the iPhone. I don't know what is this something, but it's not the iPhone. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
So we can say that the physical universe is anything that composed of twos,
Yes.
and the spiritual universe, the universe that brings something about, is anything that do not compose of two.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
something is anything that compose of two, and nothing is anything that do not compose of two.
Right.
What is nothing? Nothing is this thing that do not compose of two that can bring about two. So we
Yeah.
can bring something only out of nothing.
Right. That makes
We can
sense.
bring something only out of nothing. So what is the spirit? The spirit is this nothingness.
Yes.
It does not compose of two. It doesn't have mass. It doesn't have wavelength. It doesn't have energy, but it can bring about mass, energy, etc. So when someone tells me, I'm spiritual, I'm doing energy work, I know that he's talking nonsense, because energy work is a physical work.
Yes.
So you cannot be spiritual and do energy work. You can be spiritual and create energy, but you don't do energy work.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
So
any person that actually understand the word spirit or what spirituality means knows that it cannot be about wavelengths. It cannot be about frequency.
mm-mm.
Spirituality is not about frequency, because frequency happens only in the physical universe,
That's right. Yes.
not in the nothingness.
So let me ask this question. Is that what people mean when they say 0 point? Is that spiritual spirit from the non-physical realm? 0 point?
Zero is not in the physical universe.
Okay.
What is the spiritual universe is anything that do not compose of two that can bring about two.
Okay.
So what's the definition of the word zero?
Oh, I don't
Zero.
know. Nothing. It's nothing.
So nothing, we have a definition of the word nothing. Nothing is this thing that can bring about something.
Yes. Okay.
Zero is assuming that there is an actual nothing, but there is no nothing, because this thing that brought about the iPhone is not nothing, it's just not the iPhone. So the
Gotcha.
spirit is not a nothingness. We can
Right.
call it a nothingness if we have the definition of this thing that do not compose of two that can bring about a two.
Got
This
you.
thing that do not compose of two that can bring about twos. So the spirit can bring something out of nothing, but
Yes.
this nothing has a definition. Nothing in the heads of most people is like there's nothing. No. It's something that it's a thing that do not compose of two that can bring about two.
Gotcha.
So when you're spiritual, how do you know that you're spiritual? You can make magic. You can bring something out of nothing. And before you can do that, you are just a piece of physical universe that obey physical universe laws.
Yes.
And you're definitely not spiritual. When I go and I do Reiki, let's say, if I'm not doing it, but let's say that I would do Reiki, I'm not spiritual. I'm working with energy.
Yes.
I work with energy. I'm already working with something that exists in the physical universe. I don't create something.
Right. Right.
Obviously, I'm not spiritual. Now, the moment that you get and really start to understand that, you would see how you actually can teach a person and how you can take a person to make $100 million at the age of 32. Why? How you can make the body work despite the problem that it has.
Mm-hmm.
How you can grow an ankle when you didn't have an ankle.
Yes.
How you can do things that bring something out of nothing.
Yes. Yes.
That's spiritual. But to work to change something is not spiritual.
No.
When you change things, when you work with energy, you are not spiritual. You're just playing in the physical universe, and you can be a good player or bad player, but you're just playing with something that already exists.
Yes. Yes. That makes sense.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So all those things, when I look at what make me successful, what makes my client successful, is this thing that we don't take anything without actually being able to explain it to a 6 years old, which means I know the definition.
Yes.
If I can explain it to a 6 years old, I don't know the definition. And if I know I can explain it to a 6 years old, I also need to be able to bring the expected results.
Love
So
it.
when I can bring the expected results, and when I can explain it to anyone, even a 6 years old, it means that I know. And otherwise, I'm just a cheater.
Yeah, it's too complicated otherwise, right? If something's too complicated, like you said, you keep complicating things, then it just becomes too much. You never get that stop or that closed loop if
Yeah.
you made it so complicated. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get that.
So it needs to be, you need to be able to explain it to anyone, and you need to use it to bring results
Yes, yes, yes.
in the physical universe, because job of the spirit is to bring about something out of nothing in the physical universe, not to change.
Yeah.
You change by force, you create by the spirit.
I love that. I love that. And that's what I love about coaching. I think that what we're doing is we're asking people in their heart center, what is it that you want to create and gift back to the world? Because I believe that we're all here to be that creator and to create things and change the world for the better. And that's change again. But I think there's things that we can bring through our consciousness, through our heart center, and not live in fear that it's not going to happen or nobody will like it or what. No judgment. It's what I'm feeling and sensing that needs to be developed and brought to the world. That's what we all have. That I believe we all have that inside of us. We all need to tap in and create from that place.
Yeah. We need to learn. We need to learn, what does it mean, consciousness?
Yes.
We need to learn, what does it mean, heart center?
Yes.
I've been in a war and I've seen many open hearts. I didn't see any center there. I've seen a lot of I didn't see anything. I saw a lot of blood and vessels. So we need to define what we're saying, because
Yes.
otherwise we just say words that don't actually have a definition.
Yes.
So when I say heart center or chakachuka, the same thing, because in both cases you don't have a definition. So we can might as well call it chakachuka. So at least we know it's something different.
Yes.
Because heart center means that someone opened my heart, and there is somewhere the thing in the center there that, okay, so I opened many, I've seen, unfortunately, many broken bodies and exploded, and I didn't see anything other than stupidity there. So we need to define, what does it mean?
Yeah.
Our consciousness belong to who?
Yeah.
When I say our consciousness, who is it belong to?
I don't know. You have to answer that one for me.
Yeah, okay. So this is, we have to really have very accurate definition of what we say.
Yes.
Because otherwise we get this camouflage thing. Oh, yes, it sounds good. And I understand. And you didn't actually communicate to me something, but I come up with something, you said something, I invent something, and I say it to someone else, and everyone has, and wonderful, everyone don't communicate because no one understands.
Yes. Yep.
And so there will be no results.
Yes. Right.
So the result will not be there if you don't understand. I cannot play guitar if I don't understand the chords. I cannot dance if I don't understand the move. I cannot program if I don't understand the language.
Right.
I cannot work on the computer if I don't understand the keyboard. And if I don't understand the app, you really need to understand. And if I tell you, well, this app doing chaka-chuka and then blaga and then choo-choo and doing poo-poo, go and operate the app, you will not do that.
No.
But most people do that. And this is probably one of the most important things that I can teach people. Don't move before you understand the words, not the concept.
Yes.
The words. Because if you understood all the words, you'll understand all the sentences, and obviously you will understand the concept.
Yes. Right.
So probably from everything I was teaching today, the most important thing is understand the words and the symbols.
Yes.
Insist, really understand them. How do you know that you understand them? The definition of the word solve all the problem related to that word. It actually allows you to create. Once I really know what's an chord mean, which means I will know how to apply it and how to hold it and, blah, 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 and everything around it, I can actually play. Then I know.
Yes. And the other
The
thing,
end
if
result
you
of
can
understanding is knowing.
if you can understand it well enough to explain it to a 6-year-old, you really got them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love the lessons that you've shared with us today, and I can see how much value that will bring to everyone listening. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the community before we head out?
Probably the last thing that's something personal, that regardless of what people tell you and regardless of what you do, you need to know that you are perfect, and anything that is not perfect is not you. It's not that you don't have imperfection, but you have an imperfection, like you have a car, you have a mind, but you are perfect. And once you'll be able to separate between you, perfection, which is the spirit that can bring something out of nothing,
Yes.
and can bring only good,
Yeah.
and the things that you do that rely on your past that are not you. So once you separate between the action of the person, between the insanities of the person, between the car of the person and the driver and the spirit, once you'll be able to do that, you will see that you will get off making people wrong.
Yes.
And you will realize that machines you fix by finding what's wrong with them, people you fix by finding what's right with them.
I love that. That's a beautiful message. I appreciate that so much. Well, I know that you have a website. I would love for you to share if somebody wants to connect with you and learn more, because I know you've just given us little tidbits today. There's a lot more there for people to learn. I'm certain about that. So how would people get in touch with you or find out about you or learn more about you?
So the best way is to contact me through Instagram,
Oh, great.
Meir Ezra Official, because I always answer to any DM. I put a lot of content out, and I always answer any person. I don't care who he is, but what subject. If the person write to me, he will get an answer, not necessarily what he want to hear. It will definitely be the truth. He will need to confront it. Yes, it will definitely be something that if he will be able to confront, it will help him.
Yes.
So that's number one. Of course, we have a website, gprosperity.com. So gprosperity.com. And you have tons of knowledge there and free webinars and interviews and so on. But I think the best is to follow me on Instagram, because once you follow me on Instagram, you get daily gold. And I answer to any question anyone asks. And it's not that someone answer on my behalf. I personally answer every single communication.
That's amazing. So what's your Instagram handle?
Meir Ezra Officials. Meir Ezra.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I'm going to make sure I put that with this video and the podcast so everybody gets that information and your G Prosperity website so they can learn more about your offerings and everything. And I'm curious now, what is it that is in your heart that you are wanting to share or give back with the world? I know you're doing a lot of podcasts, which is great because we all get to know you better and hear some of your wisdom. But is there something that you're working on that you'd like to share?
So I don't know if you know, but 90% of my time is invested in business. After all, I'm Jewish. So, this thing, the guaranteed prosperity, this coaching thing is about 10% of my time. The majority of what I'm doing is business. And because I do business and I help in business in many, many ways, I want to help people. I really want to help people to maximize their potential. All
Yes.
I'm doing is I'm taking people and maximizing their potential. So getting them closer to their potential, maximizing their potential.
Love
And
it.
why I'm doing it, I will tell you a story, and this is, I think, will explain it better. Why I'm helping the individual, why I'm answering each DM, each email that people send me, each message that people send me through the website. I answer thousands of communication per week. Why I do that? And I'll give you the story. So there was this professor, and he was really dedicated, and he was researching how best he could help the world. And he was like totally only doing that and dedicating his life to it. He forgot about his family, his child, his wife. He was doing just that because that was the most important thing. Anyway, one day his wife came into his office and told him, look, I don't care what you're doing. This child is yours. I'm going away. And she left him with the child.
My gosh.
So this professor, first time in his life, had to handle this 7-year-old child, and he didn't know what to do. He'd never been with his child alone for more than a minute.
Oh, wow.
So he was saying, what can I do? What can I do? And he said, I've got an idea. He took a map of the world and he cut it to small pieces and he gave it to the child. And he told the child, this is a puzzle. Here is sellotape. And I want you to put it back together. And he figured out that it will give him enough time so he can call some friends or someone that will come and help him. More or less 5 minutes later, the child tells his dad, Daddy, and the dad say yes. And he says, the map is done. And he showed him this big map fixed. And the professor said, wow, he's so smart. Probably because he's my son. But then he said, no, one moment, it doesn't make sense. Like, there were so many pieces here. How did you do it? So the son says, simple like anything. Just before you cut the map, I saw that on the back of the map, there was a picture of a man. So I fixed the man, and when I turned the map around, the picture around, I realized that I fixed the world.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So I really dedicated to fix the individual, to help the individual maximize his potential, because I know that with enough individuals that maximizing their potential, with enough individuals that actually discovering truth,
Yes.
basic principle of this universe and the spiritual universe, and getting off this parroting we will actually fix the world.
I love that. I love that. Well, you are doing exactly what my heart wants to see happen in the world, which is for everybody to be living and creating from spirit to the world. I believe that we all have that capability, but we need to help people maximize that potential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom. And I have thoroughly enjoyed this so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone that's listening.
Yes.
Really, thank you. I hope that we helped.
Yes. That's the ultimate thing, is to help people see things in a new way, in a new light, so that they can, share that with their loved ones, and hopefully we'll just expand everybody's consciousness and have a wonderful world. Thank you.
Thank you very much.